Heyo, and welcome back to my channel. Okay guys, have you ever met that one person? Because I think we all know who I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. Just that one person that has a boyfriend now, and now that's all she cares about. Have you ever had anyone start talking to you and be like, well, goodness, he's so sweet, he's so funny, he's so generous, and he's so kind. You might be like, oh, okay. Good for you. But then you start seeing patterns in their life where they start telling you things like, oh my goodness, I'm like staying up until midnight writing love songs about him all of the time, and it's just, he's all I can think about. I could talk with him for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I could talk about him for hours and hours and hours and hours, and you know from experience that they do. And that's the only person they ever want to spend time with. If you're trying to get the whole friend group together, they're like, oh, can my boyfriend come? And whenever you're talking, they're like, oh, no, let's not talk about that because he doesn't like talking about that. Let's talk about something else. Or they are altering the complete style of their life to fit with what their boyfriend wants. Now he's getting to dictate what they wear. He's getting to dictate how they act. He's getting to dictate who they hang out with. And they're just like, yeah, isn't it great, love? Oh my gosh. And you're just like, excuse me? Like, red flag? Maybe you've not met anyone that extreme, but I know there are definitely cases where people get so wrapped up in their significant other, and it's like, it is a toxic relationship, man. It's not okay. And it's kind of funny because like one day I was just realizing, you know what? Everything that constitutes a giant, big, waving red flag in a human relationship is kind of like a goal marker in our relationship with God to say that we're doing things right. It's so weird. But if you think about it, if you go back and watch that again and take out the sarcastic tone of voice, because then it sounds like blasphemy, I could, in a sense, be talking about someone who's just deeply in love with Jesus. He is. He's so kind. Has a hilarious sense of humor. That might be a little controversial, but I think God is funny sometimes. He's hilarious. He's so generous. He's so thoughtful. He's literally perfect. Which, if someone tells you that about their boyfriend, you should tell them that that's not true. But like, at the point when this person becomes almost worshiping their significant other, like thinking they're so perfect, elevating them up to this status above everything and everyone else, well, that's what we should be doing with Jesus. Like, that's how we should feel about him. We should feel that he is the best, the most beautiful, the kindest, the most thoughtful. He should be the one that is consuming all of our thoughts. He's the one that we want to be talking about. He is the one that, like, we all sing worship songs about and that we're all in love with. Now, also, if someone told you that their boyfriend was desperately in love with them and also, like, desperately in love with all these other girls, too, that would be a big red flag too. So that's kind of weird. But also, like, that's true about God. He loves all of us perfectly. That was a horrible example. Why did I think of that? But just all of these things that in a human relationship you just be like, what is going on? This is so weird. With God, that's kind of the right way to go about it. I was trying to say worship songs. People make a career out of like writing love songs to God. And I think he should be, if not necessarily the subject of everything that you are doing, he should be the heart behind everything that you're doing. And he should be what people are experiencing from whatever creative work that you're writing. Like, you don't have to explicitly write about Jesus. Like, you can write a love song about your husband. That's fine. That's great. But it should be about like the true love that reminds us of Jesus's love. Or like, you can write a story that does not have to be like a Christian story, but the morals and like what people take away should always enrich their hearts and drive them towards something better and something good, instead of being distracted and full of a lot of just confusing different things. And that has nothing to do with anything, so we're not going to keep talking about that. However, I don't know, like, Jesus is the one that I want to spend all of my time with. I want him to be present in whatever interactions I'm having with other people. Like, I never want to go anywhere and be like, all right, Jesus, you stay at home. You're not part of this. I don't want to be talking about anything that he wouldn't want me to be talking about. I want to be able to like stop the conversation and be like, no, guess who's here, right here with us? Guess who we're trying to honor with our words and our lives and our hearts? It is true now that God does. He completely comes in and he rewrites our lives. He tells me how I should act and the kinds of things that I should be doing. He gets to dictate my friends and the kinds of people that I'm hanging out with and letting pour into my life. He tells me who to go minister to, and he tells me to give away of my things, give away of my time. That is the hardest for me. Give away of my money, of my heart, of my creativity, and just pour it out on all of these other people. Because they tell me what to wear, what kinds of activities I get to be involved in, what to do with my free time. Like, he becomes the center of my entire life, the point of all of my focus. And if you ever try to put a human being there, your world is gonna go crazy. It's gonna fling apart. If you're trying to have everything revolve over this one thing, it's all gonna start breaking and then everything just flies off in a billion pieces. But when you put Jesus there, it all fits. And it's also true that he's not really going to fit anywhere else you try to stuff him. Like, that isn't going to work either. His place is the center of your life, the center of your thought, your heart, your mind, your body. Everything that you are needs to be focused around him. And when you do that, when you start to see evidence of that in your life, that is a good thing. That means that you're on the right track. Like, if anyone else is gossiping about you behind your back of like, oh my goodness, she won't shut up about Jesus, that's probably a good thing. Now, and I guess that kind of does fit with the, you don't have to write every single song as a worship song to be a good Christian. You don't have to write every book explicitly with a moral and a big flashing sign that says, this character is Jesus. But like, with your conversation and your thoughts and stuff, it can also be more subtle. We can have subtlety and be good Christians. That's the point, is like, it could be annoying if all you ever want to say is Bible verses, or you're kind of trying to force everything back to Jesus. Because like, people have their lives and you want to talk with them about it and you hear what they care about, and you want to have things that you care about, like good things that you're enjoying that God has blessed you with. Like, it's okay to care about other things too. But the heart of that should be with gratitude for Jesus, and the heart of listening to people's problems and their worries and their cares is to love them better and more deeply, make them feel heard. Don't just shut them up with a Bible verse. That's not God honoring. But yeah, people should walk away from you feeling like they got a taste of Jesus. And that's true, like some people are not going to like that, and some people are going to be so attracted to it. It's going to split people apart. But I think like the more division along those lines that you're causing in your life, that is a good thing. That is a really, really good thing. I feel like it's in the Bible somewhere. I can never back these up with actual verses, so I'm definitely look like a false teacher. My phone's over there, so I can't even look it up because I'm really lazy. But it's like, Jesus is going to be an aroma of life or an aroma of death to people. Paul, pretty sure it's Paul that says that, so just read all of the Pauline epistles and maybe you'll find it. And also, haha, I just got you to read your Bible. But like, it doesn't mean that everyone has to walk away from a conversation with you being like, wow, she was so annoying because she won't stop talking about Jesus. But they should have gotten a sense of his heart and his character. They should walk away being like, wow, like, she is so like him. And I can't interact with her without thinking about him, and without her reminding me of him and what he would have of me and the heart that he has towards me. And so I think it'd be a very, very, very good thing if all of us were like that, that we were walking like image bearers of God and people couldn't look at us without seeing him. Some people aren't gonna like that. Some people are gonna love that. And God knows everyone's hearts. He'll figure it all out. But anyway, that was just an interesting random thought that I had, and I hope that this enlightened you and that you will go tell all your friends to get out of toxic relationships and start loving Jesus more. Goodbye until more interesting things happen.